脱衣麻雀が始まってしまった。あなた初心者だよね。服も一番少なくない？なんなのその自信。かくなる上は無難に点をやり取りして和気あいあいと終わりたいところだが、おかしい。いやおかしいでしょ。なんで俺だけこんな負けてんの？もう後がないんだけど。考えすぎか。
You know, without a doubt, Farming Life has been one of the gems of the season so far and really has made Fridays a lot better. I think every Friday I start my morning off watching Farming Life and my day immediately gets better from there. This episode, there was so much that happened this episode. There's so much to cover. It felt like they jam-packed like almost a season worth of events in one episode, and you have to really commend them for it because we're moving at a brisk pace. We're introducing new characters at a really cool pace, and we are increasing the Great Village, the Great Tree Village it's expanding at an exponential rate, and it's great that the way they kind of tell us the story and kind of the way that they show us everything that's happening. The one thing that I still have that's kind of like a stickler in my mind is just, you know, the expansion of, I guess, Machio's family tree, if you know what I mean, or his lack thereof of expansion. I'm just wondering when that's going to happen with Lucy, with Tina, with everybody in the village, right? It's like, when is this going to happen? Or is it happening in the background? Or when's that first child gonna pop out? At some point, it does have to happen, especially when we have people like Drime basically saying that they have, you know, like their daughter Lasty ready for the mayor at any time. And he continues to kind of be gifted the women of these various tribes and towns and villages, and the Demon Lord's princess, we're gonna see that. The Demon Lord's daughter, which is the princess, we're gonna see that very soon. So it's like, okay, when is this gonna start at some point? Or are they even gonna go down that path? Which my short answer is probably not. But let's talk about this episode because there's a lot to cover this episode. But, you know, overall, if you stop this video right here, 9 out of 10 episode, freaking fantastic. I laughed a lot. I think this episode was so entertaining and so good. Episode starts off with us finding out about the various slimes that have been populating the village. A ton of different slimes, like a holy slime, a green slime. Basically, it started with the slimes just using, like, being like the filtration system, being like the sewage system for the village. And now there's a abundance of different type of slimes. We get introduced to what I call the drunkard slime, which is like the drunk slime, which is the slime that now only shows up for parties. Basically, a slime that got into some wine and now has a taste for the fine wine. Almost got annihilated by all the town village girls because don't take my booze. So immediately that was an initially funny thing. That led us into the next part of the episode, which was also hilarious as well, which is, I'll call it like the Great Ocean Trip, which essentially introduced us to a new character named Michael. He is now going to be the government purveyor of the Great Tree Village. Essentially, he's going to be the liaison he's going to be like the go-between between the Great Tree Village and kind of exporting and importing goods from everywhere else in the world that has an interest. And they suck him out because he works in the Ocean Village, you know, in the demon country or whatever. He works in the Ocean Village, and he was able to procure different things for Machio, like crab, and it seems like eel and a bunch of other different types of sea creatures. And now they're gonna try and get even more. So now they have a good export-import thing. That poor man lost 10 years of his life by meeting the dragons and the angels of annihilation and vampires and everything else. Like, he definitely lost a lot of years off his life, but it's all worth it because he's about to make some money. And we're even represented that by the scales. I love the scales that they showed us. He was like risk versus reward kind of thing. His risk was really high, but the reward was a little bit higher, so he was able to make a deal. But that whole entire thing was hilarious. The next thing is we got introduced to another dragon. This dragon was Hakurin. She is Drime's older sister. Apparently, she's 900 years older than Lasty, which means, like, gosh knows how old this person is. Very interesting girl, but another dragon girl added to Machio's plethora of different variation of women around the village. She came there because she was jealous of Lasty potentially being married before her. So now who knows what's gonna happen? But regardless, she's there to stay. And the reason she's there to stay is because she really likes it there. And Machio tried to find things for her to do. He even went as far as just making her dig holes and fill them up because she was being really lazy and just wanted to stay in her room all the time. That led her to now be the village teacher. So I think that's a really cute thing, that they now have somebody to teach all the children there, which the children only extend so far as like all the beast children that ended up showing up, which are like all the pups that were originally there in the village that the wolf girls brought to the village. So I thought that was really interesting. There are no new children yet. So far, based on the scene that they had there, we have a total of, I think it's 7. There's 7 beast children that showed up. It looks like 1 or maybe 2 of which are female as well. So that's going to be interesting. Again, I'm very interested in when the populating of the village is going to happen and see that class increase. I think that's going to be very interesting. But overall, definitely love the introduction of Hakuren. Definitely love that she happens to be Drive's older sister. Then we move on to the Mahjong game stuff. That was a hilarious scene. Again, I think the writing was excellent there. Basically, they wanted to bet something. He didn't have anything to bet, so he's like, oh, a lot of times people just play it for fun. They do like strip poker, but in this case, they do strip Mahjong. Machio loses, but all the girls end up getting a show at the end because he loses. So that was very interesting. And in the episode ends. Well, the episode ends with Lamia. Basically, like they're like the half serpent, half girl, half lady, half serpent people. And apparently the reason he meets them is because the dogs, the dogs' puppies, went and they basically defeated or conquered a dungeon, which drove those girls out of the dungeon so they come pleading for their lives, essentially. And he establishes them as the postman. So now they're basically like the post office. They're the delivery girls now. So they're the ones that he uses to go and deliver goods among everywhere that he's trading with, like, the Howling Beast Village and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool that he now established these Lamia girls as like his delivery folks, and now he has a job. And the episode actually ends with the Demon Lord, the daughter, the Demon Lord, the demon's princess, or the demon, continent's princess, wanting to save Flower M, but she doesn't realize that she's there out of her free will. So now we know next episode, or, very soon, we're going to get her trying to invade this village, failing, and probably staying there as well, which is going to be interesting that Machio is going to be booed up with the Demon Lord's daughter as well. So can't wait to see more things to come, but overall, this episode, easy 9 out of 10. One of the most jam-packed episodes of just thing after thing after thing after thing, which includes character after character, moment after moment, from, something comedic relief like Mahjong to actual doing trade with a specific town, getting a trade like ocean trade, getting like ocean items, to then having a purveyor, having somebody establish goods, good trades from around the world, establishing a delivery system, like thing after thing after thing. This episode was, happened. So I really feel like if a year didn't pass this episode, I would be very, very surprised. So someone let me know in the comments how much time actually passed this episode based on how many crazy things actually happened. Overall, though, again, 9 out of 10 episode, one of the most enjoyable ones this season. Thank you for joining me for another week of farming life in another world. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys next Friday for episode number 10. All right, my friends. Peace.